Okay, freshman. Just starting here really quick, talking about our first two phyla of the animal kingdom. Remember we got the whole classification system. We got kingdom, we got phylum, we got class, order, family, genus, species, all the way through. Okay, so we're in the animal kingdom. Remember, they're unique because in the animal kingdom, the eukaryotic, multicellular, usually sexual reproduction. Doesn't always have to be, but we are definitely in the animal kingdom. Okay, and we're going to look at the first two basic phyla of all the phyla. We have a whole list of them on that note sheet. Sponges and Cnidarians. Okay. Now, what other the actual full name of their Poriferans and Cnidarians? Cnidacy is silent. Cnidarians. Sponges, porifera, porous, Poriferans and Cnidarians. Okay. Now, these are kind of cool because there's a lot of really cool things go with them, but they're the most simple ones that exist out there. First one we're going to start with are Poriferans. Sponges. Been around forever. They're simple filter feeders, and you can see the characteristics here. They're sessile, don't move. They're filter feeders. Make sure you know those, but they've been around for 500 million years. They're the oldest critters on the planet. And I'm not really going to make you, don't worry about the names of the specialized cells, but they do have specialized cells that do grab and capture stuff and give it structure. But what's really cool, and also this big thing in the osculum, there's a hole on top, and it allows water to get sucked in through the sides and go out through the top. But the idea is it simply filters everything out, okay? But the biggest thing here are the types of sponges. We got something known as calcareous, glass, and demosponges. Now, I've been watching some of your note sheets. Hey, no, you're supposed to use your notes to fill in the note sheets. Don't go to the internet and go making up stuff or finding stuff that does not fit what we're talking about. I want you to use the terms that we're using. Okay, don't just get. We've done that all year long. When you guys do your vocab, I tell you use the notes or your objective sheets. Don't go to the internet because they're going to have different definitions or different verbiage that I want to use. We're going to try and make this more user friendly. These are the three types: calcareous, glass, and demo. The first two, yeah, those are the kind you don't want to like clean your butt with or whatever else. They're going to be kind of itchy, scratchy. Here's a nice soft demo sponge. That one here is the one you're going to want to scrub yourself with. But that's glass, that's calcareous. Ouch, scratch, scratch, scratch. They give a structure to them, but again, yeah, you don't want to touch those at all because they're going to hurt. And we had a lab that was going to look at the different types, and it's kind of cool. Here's an old picture of sponges. The only way we had sponges is that we actually had to harvest them from the sea. And why is it a bad dealio? Guess what it's doing to the environment down there? Obviously, it's taking out the filter feeders to help clean the ocean. Okay. Anyway, sponge is very, very simple. There's not a lot to them. There's just very basic filter feeders, basic cell structure, the osculum, whatever. Okay. But we're more concerned with these right here. If you want, that's like a long video, whatever else. It's kind of interesting, but it goes through why these guys are very good indicators of what's going on with the planet. Cnidarians are the ones that, well, they're part of the coral reefs that are actually the coral reefs. That's really indicating that we got some serious global climate change going on. Now, a couple things about Cnidarians. They have two body forms. You got something called a polyp that does not want to move, okay? And then you got a medusa that is, well, it's from the mythology, Medusa, the head of the snakes, whatever. They're the free-floating jellyfish form type, Cnidarian. But they all have something very, very much in common. And the biggest thing we're after right here is going to be this right here. These guys, all Cnidarians, will try and stab you. Some worse than others, okay? They all contain something called cnidocytes. Again, silent, see, cnidocytes and nematocysts. So they're like little harpoons. You trip this trigger and whammo, it'll stab into you and burn. That's why jellyfish burn really bad, is because this triggers and wham goes into you, and that's how all Cnidarians will try and capture their prey. So all the way through here are going to be all these cnidocytes to try and grab everything, okay? And all of them, again, have these little stinging harpoons, okay? The four types right in here, I want you to know those. Every one of these, we're going to talk a little bit about. The biggest thing here, scyphozoans are the ones, the jellyfish with dominant medusa form, so they always look like that. Again, they've got the cnidocytes that want to stab in the side. You've got the anthozoans, sea anemones, whatever else. The biggest thing they do is secrete calcium carbonate. They make the limestone. They form the coral reefs all over this. So there we go. We got an anthozoan right here. Very, very, very cool. California trip, we go and look at those guys all over the place. Yeah, what did I get here wrong here? So anyway, no, I'm sorry. I'm zoning out. Here's another example of anthozoans down here, the sea fan coral. But all these corals, every single one of these have got tiny little bitty stabbing nematocysts, the cnidocyte cells, that are trying to grab their prey and pull it in. And in California, you put your finger in that and they wrap around and try and stab you. And that's why trying to pull it out, it's really hard to pull your finger out because they're trying to stab into you. Our skin is too thick for them to be an issue. But I've had moron kids in California stick their tongues in there that I didn't realize they did. They stuck their tongue in a sea anemone and they said it burned for hours. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Darwin Award, whatever. So anyway, that's the idea. They're trying to stab you the whole time. Okay. Hydrozoans, Portuguese man of war. These guys right here, they actually will go between a hydra stage, Medusa stage and a polyp stage. And the Portuguese man of war looks like a big jellyfish, but it's actually a hydrozoan. And the last one are cubozoans. They've got a definite unique Medusa structure, and they're one of the deadliest jellyfish. Well, it's not a jellyfish. One of the deadliest Cnidarians on the planet. Watch that. It's actually kind of cool. But what we really want to focus on here is these anthozoans, because that there's the Hydra, there's a Portuguese man of war, another Portuguese man of war, and there's a structure of the Medusa and polyp form. There is the cnidocytes, those harpoons sticking out trying to grab prey. That could be your finger, your tongue, if you're dumb enough. That's what the anemones will do. There's an anemone with a shrimp in the middle of it. And all these coral, every single one of these right here, are these little cnidocytes trying to catch everything. Okay? And again, as they're doing that, guess what they're secreting? Calcium carbonate. And so you get this massive rock, calcium carbonate, built up, and that's what the coral reefs are from. There's a brain coral that's all calcium carbonate underneath. That is all covered with fuzzy little cnidocytes and nematocysts trying to stab their little prey. Okay? And you can see the coral reefs all over the place, typically in the warmer areas. And these coral reefs, again, they're kind of living structures because they're secreting calcium carbonate and they stay near the surface. They're trying to stay near the surface of the ocean in the shallows. A lot of them are. And that's where they function the best. Okay. And if you go down to the Caribbean, all those red areas, that's where they all are. God, I've been down to some of those. They're absolutely gorgeous. And what's really cool is that you get something known as an atoll, where the island is right here, and you can see the coral living all around here. They secrete in calcium carbonate. And what happens is that because it's always a living structure, it does not disappear, but the island erodes away, and boom, you've got an atoll. And the environment for this is mind-blowing as far as what is all around there. The coral reef brings in all the other organisms, and you name it. It's incredible. There is an atoll view from space. The island is missing in the middle, but the coral reef stays forever. Okay? There's another picture of actually it goes through, and number 5 says, are we building airport in the atoll? Because in World War II, they were really great places to put a runway on because they're nice and flat. Okay? Again, this is a World War II connection to an atoll that, for you history buffs, watch this video. It's really kind of cool. But the idea is that it was an atoll in the Pacific that they wanted to get a hold of really bad. And I think that's all I have here. But anyway, the coral reefs are such an incredibly vital part of our planet that they're really good indicators of what's going on with the health of our planet. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to watch a very, very, very cool video called Coral Reef Adventure, one of my favorites of all time. And I'm telling you right now, watch it, because it's going to make you want to get down there and visit these places before they all disappear. All right, freshmen, let me know if you got any questions about cnidarians and peripherans. Okay, the first 2 phyla. All right. Later.